Panzer Dragoon Orta, not made for the Sega Saturn nor made for the Sega Dreamcast. No, this game is exclusive to the Xbox. This game is a rare exception to what I would consider a brilliant exclusive. Almost 5 years after the release of Panzer Dragoon Sega, Panzer Dragoon Orta was a continuation of the series into the new generation of gaming. Although Team Andromeda had disassembled at the end of the Sega Saturn era, many of its members had joined the Smallbit development studio, and it was Smallbit who took the task of bringing this masterpiece Panzer Dragoon to the 6th generation console. Panzer Dragoon Orta takes players to several decades after the events of Panzer Dragoon Sega, to a time when the once crumbling empire had revived and had risen to dominance once again. The Imperials had succeeded in making biotechnologies of the lost ancient age. Now they had created dragons with their own twisted reasons. These creatures are known as Dragonmares. Sounds like nightmares, hey? The Dragonmares and their riders swept across the continent, dividing nations under the Empire's oppressive rule. This is where our main character comes in. In the city hidden in the mountains, a young girl named Ortra had lived all her life as a prisoner to a society known as the Seekers. Unaware of her origins, Ortra lived her days alone in a stone tower overlooking the city, until one night the Empire and its dragon mains came for her. But before she could be captured by the bad guys, Orta was mysteriously saved by a legendary dragon, which had returned once again from the shadows of history. Fleeing the city upon the dragon's back, Orta was set forth on her voyage on a discovery to determine the truth about herself. And this is where our journey begins. It's crazy to think that Panzer Dragoon was seen on the Game Gear. Boy, we've come a long way since the good old Sega days. Thankfully this game still carries its charm. Smallbit Studios did an excellent job with the graphics. Being one of the later games released on the original Xbox, they really took advantage of the console's capabilities. Graphically and artistically, this game hasn't aged. I feel that it still looks better than most 360 games, to be honest. Did you know that the original Panzer Dragoon was released for the PC too? In fact, once you beat Panzer Dragoon Orta, you could unlock the PC version. Holy fuck, that's great. The game would appear in the title screen under Pandora's Box option as an unlockable feature. That's a whole hidden game. If you never played the original, I seriously suggest that you do. Orta hella offers value for money. Panzer Dragoon Orta, in my opinion, is one of the best, if not the best, rail shoot 'em ups I have ever played. Close to it will be Panzer Dragoon's wife for the Sega Saturn, and close to that I will say Lilac Wars, or as known in the States, Star Fox 64. Thankfully the game moved away from the RPG elements as seen in Panzer Dragoon Sega, and what Panzer Dragoon Orta does goes back to its roots. Orta does have some RPG elements as the dragons in the game can level up. Ortra's dragons can morph itself between 3 different forms. Firstly, the Base Wing, which is a standard class with no weakness or strengths. This one pretty much plays and feels like the old Panzer Dragoon from the original Sega Saturn series. Next you have the Heavy Wing. That's basically an offensive class with less mobility, but boy it's strong, but has no boost. But it does have a special attack which homes into its enemies. It's ideal for bosses as it does the most damage. And my personal favourite is the Glide Wing. It's the fastest dragon and it's good for shooting down masses of incoming projectiles. Also, it builds up the quickest. This dragon's special attack has the ability to recharge your health by sucking it from the enemies, kinda like a vampire. That's one of the new mechanics for the game, the boost. Basically the boost allows the player to dodge past attacks. Gameplay wise, this game is on point. It's what you expect from an epic shooter. It keeps the same formula as the previous game. It's responsive, I would say as responsive as lightning. The music for Panzer Dragoon is a mix between orchestral and synthesizer tracks. Each level's art style and events match the music. It's freaking phenomenal. I have to put this out there, but Panzer Dragoon Zwei has some of my favourite music in video game history. Musically, Ortra does not match Zwei, but it almost matches it. Almost. Not that it means that the game has bad music, it's just Zwei had freaking epic music. Panzer Dragoon Orta feels like a proper arcade shooter, and it does not mess around. You'll be ducking and diving enemies' projectiles at the same time aiming the enemies. You got enemies underneath, above, left, right, frontwards and backwards. You're basically getting raped in all directions, and damn, I love it. We still have gigantic boss battles. I feel that no epic shoot 'em up is complete without gigantic bosses. And this game delivers, especially in the last stage. The final boss will respawn a few times. No spoiler intended, but hell, the last boss, he is tough. This boss fight really relies on some trial and error, so you'll be dying multiple times as you have to memorize his actions and patterns in order to wait for the opening attacks. I was tempted to buy an Xbox One to play the latest installment of the Dragon series, Crimson Dragon. However, after seeing the much negative reviews, I've been put off, to be quite frank. Anyways, if you haven't played Panzer Dragoon Ortra, I'll advise you to get it. You love games? Get it. Trust me, you won't regret it.